Welcome to the match reaction here on Latte Firm. Fulham 0, Arsenal 1. Leandro Trossard's second half goal was enough to give us the 3 points and to go clear at the top of the table. Not as fun as it was to watch, but we got the 3 points. We come away from Craven Cottage, and welcome to the show. What a feeling. The Barclays is back after the most boring international break of all time. We went to Craven Cottage, we've got the 3 points, and now it's a Sunday roast and feet up on the sofa and all eyes on Anfield. Ruben Amorim, what do you have for me? Welcome to the show, one and all. Get involved in the chat, and of course, drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're going to enjoy the content. And of course, if you're new to the channel, Latif was first in the house, says, hello, FK, 1-0 to the Arsenal. Solid performance. Come on, you Gunners. Fluff2027 says, we are acting like champions after an international break, away from home, 3 points. Top of the league. We are very, very good. Vlad, welcome to the show. Warm welcome to our channel members and Patreon members, of course. Good evening, FK and chat. Far from our best, but we take it already. Plus 7 points better off on corresponding fixtures to last season. Come on, you Gunners, he says. Vlad, welcome to the show. Trevor Bibbins is in the house, says, good evening, FK and all the Gunners in the house. 1-0 to Arsenal. That's all that really counts to me. And still top of the league. Come on, you Gunners. Matthew, welcome, says, Arsenal know how to give the least amount of satisfaction after a win. That was a hard watch. Do you know, it's a sort of game that if you watch back, not many people are going to do a rewatch, believe me. But if you do watch that back, you'll probably be wondering, what were we worried about? 0 shots on target for Fulham. That is 2 games in a row now. I think the first time since the Invincible season that Arsenal have done that. No shots on goal against 2 teams. It is an excellent result, as Joel says. We are now on track for 28.5 wins this season from the fixtures that we've had. Pre-season, I said we'd win 30, and I'm sticking with it. Good on you, my man. Welcome to the show. Win whatever means necessary. That's pretty much it. Bukayo Saka speaking after the game today. Mindset is all about winning. Every situation, every game. At this stage of the season, who cares about performances? Just get points on the board. October and November are typically very tricky times for Arsenal Football Club. We just got to beat what's put in front of us, and the last 3 games have been exactly that. Really, really good return of points. Phoenix, welcome. Saka is our best player. Saka is Arsenal. He was showing all those naysayers what he's about. I think that's Viggs. I don't know what YouTube are doing with usernames, by the way. This must be some sort of glitch. I don't know if it's happening on other channels. Let me know. Maybe it's a settings thing that I've got to sort out. Benjamin, welcome. Fulham's first home loss this season and first time we've won there in 2 seasons. Really weird. I went into the game, as we discussed on the Late Night Lounge last night, with a sort of fear. Fulham on paper away, it feels like a difficult fixture. But when you look at our last 14, 1 defeat, 9 wins and 4 draws. There's no reason for us to fear playing Fulham. It's a really irrational sort of worry that we have before going to the fixture. And today, even though it was 1-0 to the Arsenal, even though it was a bit of a scrappy goal from a set piece again, it was comfortable. They couldn't really lay a finger on us, but more about that shortly. Dave is in the house. Says, set piece again, set piece again, set piece again. Ole. Absolutely. Baldylocks at Anfield will be not sleeping well tonight after that jab that he took at Arsenal in his press conference this week. Jason, welcome to the show. Says, get in, 3 points is all I care about. Should have been more, but the refs always decide to re-referee our games. They need to change. I think we had something like 16 minutes, 15 minutes of stoppage time today. A lot of time wasting from Fulham in the first half. The second half, the VAR decision, the review, not clear and obvious in my eyes. More to come on that shortly as well. Vlad says, the Calafiori goal, though, so good, if only it stood. I don't know what Ricky Calafiori is anymore, but I love him. And I think he's unreal. And I'm really pleased to have him in the team, of course. Matthew says 3 goals conceded in 8 games is absolutely elite. 3 points, we move. We are on track to hopefully better that defensive season that Chelsea had some years ago under Jose. Don't really care about records like that, but it is proving that we are very, very difficult to beat. Like I said, no shots on goal, 2 games running, defensively conceding 3 goals this season. An extraordinary free kick at Anfield, of course, the Erling Haaland goal, which he seems to be doing, and another 2 more goals for the Beast today. And then, of course, that header from Voltemade with another neat finish, Voltemade today. Really lovely goals going in. Jason says 2 games without conceding a shot on target is crazy. AFC 777 welcome, says 3 points. Thank you very much. We move on. It is that sort of a game. Let's not even reflect. Let's not talk too much about it. Let's not rewatch and do too much deep dive analysis. Take the 3 points, get out of the cottage, and away we go. We've got some lovely fixtures coming up as well. As Matthew says, win our next few fixtures. We could easily be 4 conceded in 12. Who knows? Welcome to the show, Karen. Hello. Hope everyone is well. A boring watch, but the points are all that matter. And Viggs is saying saying 9 out of 9 points when we got 1 point in these 3 fixtures last season is a big, big win. Yes, indeed. Wow, oh wow. What is this, FK? No longer in late firm. Yeah, I was on time. Right? How about that? How about that? Anthony says, evening all. Good evening to you. Patrick is in the house. We win again. Ragamuffin is here as well, saying evening. Did Wayne not get the prediction? I think he did. Throw enough mud, and every now and again, nah, kid, he did predict 1-0 last night on the match preview. It was a snore fest. 3 points is most important. Tross is boss. You just can't beat this guy. I concede. Leandro, you win. Okay. We'll talk about his performance shortly. Boom, says Hirsch Patel. 1-0. I take that all day long. And Tise4422, welcome. Says FK, we locked him up, boxed him up. Big ups from Kansas City, Latte Firm fam. Thank you, Tise, for watching all the shows. And I love seeing you in the chat, man. Really appreciate it. Asheen's here, says hello. That was fine for me. Callum, thank you very much for your donation to the channel. Very, very grateful for that. Asks, are you not doing a live space on Twitter? No, we've decided to do post-match phone-ins on special occasions this season. They are quite time-consuming to do on social platforms, and my kids are getting to an age now where I've got to spend a bit more time with them at weekends. So YouTube it is, and special occasions we'll do the phone-ins. They will be back, I'm telling you. Pato says, let's go Arsenal. Sweet 3 points. Good news is seated. FK, good to see you. Right, hundreds of you have tuned in already to tonight's show. Please do drop a like in the video and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. And let's bring up the slides as we normally do. So here we go. Let's enlarge my face a little bit just so you can see me. How about that? Starting lineups. Let's talk about that. So last night in the match preview, we talked about Fulham playing 3 at the back with the 2 wing backs this season, and Marco Silva decided to change it, as you can see, courtesy of PremierLeague.com. They went with 4 at the back today, with Sessegnon playing left back, Castagna playing right back, and of course the 2 defenders in front of the keeper. In midfield, I thought they'd do this, but they wanted to stack it. Kearney, club captain, struggling with pain in his shoulder, was playing alongside Sander Berge, who we were linked with once a long time ago. Harry Wilson, who I think is a really neat footballer, to be fair, with Joshua King playing in that sort of deeper attacking creative midfielder role, and Alex Iwobi playing against his former club, and Raul Jimenez playing up top. Really pleased that Anthony Robinson wasn't in the lineup. He's a very, very good player, and he's always a threat. Very, very lucky for us. Although I think Sessegnon tried and played pretty well today against Saka, but Saka, no one can stop him. In terms of Arsenal lineup, no real complaints for me. One change from the team that played against West Ham United, and that, of course, was the lineup that you can see on screen. So David Raya keeping his position in goal, Jurien Timber, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Ricky Calafiori, who we'll talk about shortly. Eza coming into play into midfield with Zubimendi and Rice, Saka, Gyökeres, and Trossard. No skipper, of course. Last night we talked about this being a big opportunity for Eberechi Eza. I don't think he had his best game for Arsenal. It was a tough sort of fixture, a tough sort of occasion. They were very, very compact in the middle, Fulham. They were very, very compact at the back. They weren't giving us much space, and we had to maneuver the ball, play long diagonals in left to right, right to left. Really interesting to see Trossard kind of drop deep and Calafiori make diagonal runs out to try and give space to Victor Gyökeres, who actually today made a few arching runs, didn't he, into the penalty area, caused a bit of trouble, had some shots on goal. Lots of criticism for Victor Gyökeres again, because it's another nil return, but I will maintain I love what he's doing. I think he's a very, very good player, and I can't wait to see him in amongst the goals again. We're going to talk about the penalty shout. Lots of people saying that it wasn't a pen. Some people saying that Anthony Taylor has not done us any favors, but I'll come on to that shortly. Good news says, I don't care about the performance. Give me 30 more 1-0 wins. And yes, I know I might be in the minority for saying that. I don't think you are, man. I do not think you are. Benjamin says, YouTube keeps correcting weave to with. I think you're probably talking about usernames, I hope. I'm not sure. Yeah, other channels seem to be fine. Ooh, might be a setting that could have been changed. I will look into that, ladies and gents, boys and girls, because I don't like it either. I've forgotten all your names, and your names make me feel familiar. Felt really worried given the results against them, but we looked so comfortable, says Harsh. Yeah, we did look comfortable in the end. It didn't feel comfortable watching the game today. But when you look at the stats, which we'll bring up shortly, it was comfortable work. Takeaways from our performance. Look, David Raya looked solid, comfortable, 5 clean sheets now, I think, already this season, which is insane in the Premier League. Jurien Timber, I mean, wow. I've noticed a slight difference in Jurriën Timber this season. He's obviously trying to do a lot more in the final third. He's so reliable as a defender. Very, very difficult to get past. Mr. 8, 9 out of 10 every week without fail. Love the boy. Love everything that I'm seeing from him. Got to be careful about legs and, sort of protecting load. But I'd be interested to see his sort of, I guess, player radars from last season and this season, even though it's only a small sample size. I wonder what sort of change. Maybe we'll cover that in the late night latte tomorrow. Saliba and Gabriel, I mean, warriors, monsters, dangerous at one end of the box, the brick wall at the other end of the pitch. And David Raya will be counting his lucky stars to be playing behind those two. Ricky Calafiori, there's a slide coming up on him. Again, enlighten me. What do you think Ricky Calafiori is? Because I just don't get this guy. What a footballer we have. Ezra, I've just talked about. We said it last night. This is the sort of game, the fixture without the skipper that he would have been looking forward to, the number 10 in that central role. Didn't quite work out for him. It was very, very tight, very compact. Didn't give him much time to breathe. We weren't working the ball through central areas, to be fair, in that first half. Trying to go wide too often. Didn't really see much of it. Obviously substituted before the game finished. Not concerned, not worried. He's got he goes again on Tuesday night under the lights in the Champions League. No doubt about his quality, but just today wasn't quite his game. Leo Trossard obviously scoring the goal, as I've just mentioned. Saka, another really good performance. Saka looks a little sharper and quicker. Would you guys agree? Post-injury, there was that whole sort of 2-3 months where I was like, not sure if he's as explosive as we know he can be. He looks at it now, doesn't he? He looks absolutely awesome. We'll talk about the penalty shout in just a second. And Victor Gyökeres, look, ignore the noise. That's all I'm going to say. Ignore the noise. What he is doing, use your eyes, have a look, see what he's doing for the team, see the runs he's making behind. The familiarity is coming. They found him 2 or 3 times today. He got a couple of shots away. I like it. I'm not going to write him off just yet. Patrick says, we score corners. Fulham fake head injuries. Every team brings something to the game. Harsh has gone early saying 100% a penalty. Higher Sackett says Anthony Taylor needs to be investigated. And yeah, Donald says the 9 minutes extra time was a disgrace. I mean, it was the VAR thing, wasn't it? Really? And that's basically what the problem was. Danny says my broadcast had audio issues. VAR had imaging issues to where they had to use still images at one point. Technical disaster this game for the broadcasters. Technical disaster for the fans in the ground. Imagine being a supporter and you can't see any of this stuff on screen. You have to wait for the most ridiculous announcement from the referee. He doesn't say anything about the thought process or the decision process. If you are a match-going fan and you've paid good money to travel to the ground, make arrangements to get away from your family and your day, whatever you've got planned at the weekend, you go there and you sort of just wonder, you're just waiting. You're waiting for 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes for a decision to come and you can't see any of it. I think that's really, really unfair. Grossly unfair. Kat says, I'm pretty confident Victor scores that penalty kick if they gave it. Unfortunate for him. Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. Funny Gunner has also said some audio issues on NBC. That's unlike them. Umair says, hello, FK and chat. A bit late today. Was watching an amazing instant analysis by Harvey Gratian. Yeah, do check out Harvey Gratian. He was supposed to be on the channel on Thursday. Due to travel logistics for me at St. Paul's Station in London, I couldn't get home quite in time, but Harvey will be back next week. And Omer also showing quality over at the Canon podcast. Has really dropped. Look, I'm not going to be laying into other channels. You guys are free to watch. Some of these channels are unbelievable in size and quality and analysis. I'm just grateful that you guys are here. Key says Fulham have never really played 3 at the back. Don't know where this myth came from. I mean, it's all over their tactics boards on PremierLeague.com and the BBC and the match previews. Maybe you know more than I do. I don't know. 3 at the back with 2 wing backs, maybe 5 at the back. Maybe that's what it is. Joshua King looked really lively today. Was impressed with him in the first 30 minutes. I thought Fulham were pretty average in the first half. They kept rotational time wasting with head injuries. Some are going to be genuine, but 1 or 2, fingers in the cheek or balls being bashed into the face. I mean, come on. They'll be embarrassed looking at the slow motion replays of that. Second half, I thought we came out and started really well. We took the game to Fulham. But it was one of those games, as the game went on, you kind of just started getting nervous about maybe a counter-attack or a free kick or a set piece or a decision that goes against you. The longer the game goes on, the more you're worried about if they get an equaliser. We can have any time to respond. But luckily, you managed to shut them out. Let's have a look at the match stats, courtesy of Scott Willis. So the conclusion is it was 1-0 to the Arsenal, but it wasn't fun. I've got to be honest, 1-0 to the Arsenal. We'll talk about the goal in just a second. These are the stats. We've obviously won 1-0. Expected goals 1.9 for Arsenal today, 0.7 for Fulham. We had 16 shots on goal compared to Fulham's 9 efforts. We had 5 on target compared to Fulham's none. Just to reinforce, 2 games in a row now that our opponents have not managed to lay a finger on target. 62% possession for Arsenal. We completed almost double the number of passes for them. Final third entries more than double, 71 to 32. Expected threat created from the Arsenal, really, really promising. Deep touches as well, and zone 14 touches just outside the area, 25 to 6, 4 times as many as Fulham. And that was pretty much the game. And actually, like I said just a few moments ago, it's the sort of game that if you watch back again, which I know not many of you are going to do because it was quite a drab affair, it was comfortable. There was probably nothing to worry about. We have a new member, Carrie Tanninen. Welcome. Thank you so much for signing up to be a YouTube channel member. It is gratefully received. I've got to be honest, any sort of support we get from super chats and Patreon members and channel membership is awesome towards the running costs of the channel. I don't want to work with betting companies. I get approached by them all the time. So all of your contributions go a long, long way. Betting companies, they do some really horrible things to some very vulnerable people. So I appreciate all the love. Carrie, thank you so much. If you are tuning in for the first time, please do, of course, subscribe to the channel. It's a great, great help to the channel here on YouTube. Danny says, Fulham usually play more of a mid block than a low block, makes it a bit of a pain to play through for most teams. Look, they were very, very stubborn today. They stacked the midfield, they stacked the back four. And look, when you're playing that sort of a team, you've either got to go through them, around them, over them. And we struggled to do that. And it took the set piece to kind of break the deadlock. But I don't care where the goals are coming from. Do you? As long as we win, as long as we rack up the points, that is all that is important. Donald is back, says, I'd like to buy Calafiori or Cornetto. Yeah, you wanted to have a Cornetto with him last night. And now you want to buy him one. Don't we all? Don't we all? Wow, we have another member, Hassa C. Welcome to the YouTube channel membership for Latte Firm, my friend. Really, really appreciate the generosity. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Goes a very, very long way. Look forward to seeing you in the chat more often as well. We're a fancy Stoke, says Rancid Pumpkin, and I don't care. We don't care. We don't care. We absolutely don't care. We are so, so happy. It was an Ødegaard game. There were moments in the game where I thought to myself, we're missing the skipper so much. But actually, I think we weren't working the ball through central areas. It'd be really interesting to see the passing network. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, we went out wide quite a lot today. I'm so far behind on the chat. So far behind. Jedi Max 7 says, we won 1-0. Sometimes there's no analysis needed. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I am absolutely with you. I think winning a game like this, it's not a pretty game. Let's not do a deep dive analysis and fault every last thing or praise every last thing. Take the 3 points, get out of the get out of the cottage and just be very, very happy. Let's not go down that road. Trevor says, Starboy is looking great today. Yeah, Saka is getting back to his best, as Vlad says. Not quite 100% yet, but getting better and better. He is our star man. Absolutely ran the show. Let's have a look at the attacking threat chart. It was easier than it felt. And this is my point about, when you're a 1-0 up and the longer the game goes on, you kind of just start getting a little bit nervous. First half, completely comfortable. Fulham didn't really do anything. We had a lot of the ball. We couldn't really manipulate it the way that we wanted to. We were forced down both sides. Victor Gyökeres 1 or 2 touches in the box. That was pretty much it. Second half, we had to up the tempo and be a little bit more direct and really kind of, work the lines. And we did. And of course, we got the goal early in the first half, which was fantastic. Had that penalty shout. In the first half, of course, Ricky Calafiori putting the ball into the net. What a wonderful goal that would have been. We'll come on to that in just a second. But you can see the 2 peaks that Fulham had in red there late in that second half. 2 moments where the momentum really kind of struck them. A couple of counterattacks, a couple of long range efforts. Really safe in the end. But again, those sorts of moments, like a deflection or a decision or, just an unexpected bounce of the ball, and all of a sudden it's kind of 1-1 or you're 1-0 down, and it's very difficult to kind of come back in that sort of environment. So look, comfortable in the end, easier than it felt during the actual game for sure. Title number 14, welcome. Good to see you in the chat. FK, we can only ignore the Gyökeres noise if we win the league. No, I disagree with that. I think we can ignore the Gyökeres noise if you just watch what Victor does in the team and have a look at the impact he has on our play. it's clear to me that the team are finding him now more often. They're connecting with him. Like, look at the way he made those arching runs today. Did help by Calafiori going out wide, and Saka sort of hugging the touchline. It gives him more space, and defenders get dragged out. I like what he's doing, and do you know what I love the most? He's not letting it get his head down. Like, he wants to make that run time and time again. He is looking for the ball. There's no negative body sort of signs or signals or language. He just wants the ball. He's doing what he can for the team. I'm not gonna turn my back on him. Ragamuffin says Sky post game review showed clear contact before Kevin touched the ball. They all said it should have stood. Okay, well, let's move on to that. So let's move away from the attacking threat chart. Let's talk about Ricky Calafiori. I mean, my word. Yesterday on the late night lounge, we had a graph that I didn't quite understand, and it sort of showed Ricky Calafiori in the attacking pockets, or whatever it was called. And it sort of ranks all the players, and Ricky Calafiori is like top right of the graph, and everybody else is in that sort of reasonable, normal cluster. I don't even know what this guy is. He's an exceptional footballer. He finds himself, left wing, left 8, central midfield, left back, last gasp defender on the touchline. He covers so much ground. The guy had 3 shots in that first half, and all 3 would have been golazzos. I mean, the one that he put away and that was offside was a sensational finish. Lovely touch from Leo Trossard, first time across the box. And Calafiori, my God, what a finish. I don't quite know how this is going to end for Ricky Calafiori. First of all, I love the fact that he's fit in many ways. I love the fact that he's available because he's playing consistently now. I love how much ground he covers, how much it means to him to play for us. You can see every time he gets a shot away, or the goal when it went in for that first 10 seconds, like, he really feels it. He's one of us. I love it. I love him. Got to be careful about minutes and legs. We've got Miles Lewis-Skelly waiting in the wings. Piero Hincapié waiting also as the icing on the cake. But this guy has got it all. I would suggest, as I did last night, he could be our player of the season so far. Is that unreasonable? Really, really good performance. Really just a phenomenal player. I don't know what to say about Ricky Calafiori anymore. Let's fast forward through the chat and let's have a look at what people are saying. Ricardinho says, Shane Rancid says Calafiori is whatever we need. He is. He's literally a Swiss Army knife. Just does whatever you want. And I think he's a dream player for the coach. Mikel must be thinking, this guy, you can rely on him. You can play him forward. You can play him wide. You can play him central. Ooh, what a player. What a player. I know the hate watch tomorrow is going to be so good. Pato. Sampadi says, Fulham is so stubborn. Always raise their game against us. Yeah, look, it's a London derby. Marco Silva is the manager. Fulham are a decent side at home this year. They've won their 2 home games. Of course, they lost their last couple of away games. But Calafiori, wow, what a player. Only 22, 23? Caligucci. That's what I'm talking about. That's going to be a thumbnail. Well done, my friend. Misunderstood Ninja. You have given me inspiration. Caligucci. Guy with a view, Paul James says, if Hincapié gets a run in the team, he might even be better than Calafiori. Remember, I told you that. Wow. He may be. Who knows? But yeah, what a player. What a performance. I am in love. I am totally in love with this boy. Let's talk about the goal. I mean, look, those of you who watch regularly will know that I've been a bit harsh on Leo Trossard, and I still maintain that when Leo Trossard doesn't score or assist, which sounds mental, he's often carried by the team. Sometimes he can be a passenger. And today I thought, until the moment he scored, I was like, Leo, man, 1 or 2 good touches in the first half. The assist to Calafiori, of course, for that goal that was scrubbed off. But he was quite wasteful. His crossing wasn't great. Passing wasn't great. There's a great video, courtesy of a Red Top paper, who I don't really want to sort of publicize too much. But there's a great video that shows the work that Trossard has been doing off the ball, and shows the work that Trossard does when our left wing back or our central midfielder goes out to the left, and how he tucks into left back, how he tucks into left central midfield, and how he's playing a team role. And that was a real education to me. And, again, today, Leo Trossard tucking in so Calafiori could make the diagonal run out left and sort of hug the touchline to take Castagna out and give Victor Gyökeres that space. Like, he's doing what he does, and he's comes up clutch again in such a key moment. the guy's such a great goal scorer. You win, Leo. I just can't beat you. I don't want to beat you. I want you to keep doing what you're doing. Paul James says Trossard, king of the clutch goal. I know. Leandro Clutchard, says Dave. It was a good finish, a good set piece goal, and that's going to send Arnie Slot and his head onto Mars. Vic says Trossard is just a level below Salah. Poor performance is masked by goals and assists. Not that I am complaining. FK just stop, says Kenny. Trossard was far better than the guy most of you worship called Rice. Look, Declan Rice, probably not one of his best games today. I thought he did okay. I don't think Trossard was good, though, Kenny. Don't know what game you were watching for that first hour. I don't think he was good at all. Scored the goal. Rate that. Respect it. Love it. Deserve it. Came off as a substitute. But that's not a performance to write home about. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Who knows? Let me know. And of course, it was a corner from Bukayo Saka, who skipped the team today. Quite funny how he sort of opened up after the post-match interview, saying, I've delivered a few rubbish corners today. But he got that corner right, and it was another well-worked goal. And Mikel Arteta and Nico Jovic celebrating on the touchline. Let's talk about Saka, and let's talk about that penalty decision. Chat, what did you think? I got to be honest. If this was a penalty decision that was against us and awarded and checked on VAR and then subsequently awarded, I would be livid. I'd be really livid because the player does get the ball. There is contact on the knee, but the player does get the ball. And this is all about, one sort of flow of action. The knee is, I guess, that first point of contact, but he gets the ball. It's also right on the edge of the box. I think, like I say, if it was against us, I'd be like, I'd find it so galling. And I think obviously it's easy for me to say, yeah, fair enough. We were 1-0 up at the time. Mikel Arteta was pretty similar in the post-match interview, saying, look, ref, they got it right. Good decision, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, he's trying to be magnanimous and trying to sort of, get the FA on his side. But yeah, I think it wasn't a clear penalty. However, the decision time that it took to review VAR is farcical. It's not a clear and obvious error. Ref pointed to the spot. They should just back him in that situation. But of course, like I say, if it was against us, I'd be annoyed. So that's a bit hypocritical. James Bond is in the house. Says, big up Latte. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate that. Jason says penalty. Benjamin says no penalty. Well, there you go. Umair says clear cut penalty. James says no pen. Got a touch on the ball first. Patrick says touches his knee. I mean, this is exactly the point. V Vlad says it's debatable, but I don't think VAR has enough to overturn it. That I agree with that. It's not a clear and obvious error, so don't make the referee go. Don't waste time. Don't take the momentum out of the game. If that's 0-0 and we're going for the kill and we're trying to get a game, we've taken 5 minutes out of the flow. Fans don't even know what's going on, and then it gives the home team a real rush. The home fans a real sort of boost. So, the sort of knock-on effect of a VAR decision when it's goalless or a draw game state, that can really have an impact on the atmosphere and the momentum. Shane says it takes 5 minutes to review. It's not clear and obvious, Mr. Webb. Yeah, Mr. Webb, if you're watching. He's bald as well. Why are they all always bald? Fanagana says the faintest of touches on the ball. Jeez, yeah, exactly. Ralph says 100% penalty, knee first. Contact happens before he touches the ball. It's a penalty, says Nelson. See, this is what I mean. There are a few people saying no penalty. Trevor Bibbins has just said no penalty as well. Contact is soft. This is what I mean. Like if this was us on the receiving end, I wouldn't be happy. None of us would be happy. We'd all be like soft, really soft. So look, you win some, you lose some. It doesn't cost us because we've won the game, and luckily we've taken the referee and VAR out of the game today. So very, very happy. Ragamuffin says it's irrespective of the decision. I don't agree with the decision to give the ball to the Fulham keeper after VAR. Is that what even happened? I was angry and disappointed at the moment. Didn't even notice that. So look, that's just the way that it is. And in the end, we managed to get a 1-0 win. And look, 9 minutes of injury time. We managed to hold on. It was a mature professional performance. Christian Norgard came on for the last 5 minutes for his Premier League debut. He would have enjoyed that moment. And we really shut up shop. I do get nervous, though. Just one last thing. I do get nervous when we take off a striker and bring on a defensive midfielder just to kind of, shore it up. I think when the home team is going hard and they're trying desperately to get either a leveler or a winner, I think when you take off a striker and you bring on a midfielder, you're almost inviting that pressure. I don't know if it's necessary. Like Gyökeres could have just stayed on and, that would have been fine. But we got the win, and that is all that matters. Let's talk about what this means then. So tomorrow, Sunday roast, feet up, all eyes on Anfield, he says. That is the Premier League table, courtesy of PremierLeague.com. Arsenal are now top 8 games played, 19 points on the board, and we are +7, I think, compared to corresponding fixtures from last season, which is great. 9 points from 3 games that have typically been very difficult for us. Newcastle United away at St James's Park, West Ham at home, who have beaten us twice in our last 4 defeats at the Emirates. And of course, today, Fulham, Craven Cottage. I know we've got a decent record in the last 14, but to get 3 points after an international break in particular, ahead of what's going to be a glorious Super Sunday tomorrow, the Spurs taking on Villa, and of course, Liverpool taking on Manchester United. So it really is a lovely feeling going into Saturday night. It's a great feeling going into Sunday. We can enjoy it. We can relax. We can drink it in. We've had a very nice kind donation to the channel. Thank you so much for VIP Studios 8461. I apologize if that's not your name. Let me know in the chat if you want your name to be shouted out. It says it's a better view on Twitter. You have to go back 2 or 3 frames, but there is clear contact on Bukayo Saka's knee. Just type Saka penalty. I will absolutely do that, my man. Like I said, I don't know if you sort of heard the entire chat on that contact. I think if it's a decision that was against us, a decision that was reviewed against us, I can understand why we'd be frustrated, because if it was William Saliba, for example, making that contact and he gets the ball, it's so soft, it's so light, it's just and in the most corner part of the penalty area, I'd have felt quite indignant if that was given against us, quite disappointed. And actually, we have the luxury of being 1-0 up. We have the luxury of saying it now with the benefit of hindsight and having 3 points in the bank, that actually it doesn't matter. Hopefully, there's another decision that's going to go our way at some point. So yeah, Liverpool United tomorrow. Yeah, United. Everyone's shouting it. Can Ruben Amorim do something? Look, all I say, Manchester United are top of the XG table this season. That is not something that any of us would have expected. But they go to Anfield, and United do have a habit of going to Anfield and raising their game. Did they not draw there last season? I really want to say they drew at Anfield last season. But they're capable. And Liverpool, listen, 3 defeats on the bounce. Kanate injured. They've got some problems. So who knows? Nathan says top of the league, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Title number 14 is asking, are we going to see Nwaneri and Dowman play more than 10 minutes? On the one hand, I want to give them game time. I want to see them play. On the other hand, we have a stacked squad. And unless they are knocking on that door and trying to smash it down, there is a pecking order. And Noni Madueke, ladies and gents, boys and girls, he is back in training, and he will be back in the team before you know it. Very, very exciting. Vive Latte says Haaland, though. Someone needs to run the system update to nerf his performance. What a season he's having, Erling Haaland. I'll leave you with this. Last season, there was a time, I think, where he missed sort of 6 or 8 games in the Premier League. Season before, missed 11 games in the Premier League. He will not last physically. There will be a time where he goes out of that team and misses maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of football for Manchester City. And I'm hoping that our squad is going to be stacked enough to cover that and not even to worry about it. I think Manchester City are our biggest threat this season. Patrick Carlson says we are all Villa fans tomorrow. We are indeed. Manchester United need to do their job, says Donald. Hopefully. O'Malley, welcome to the show, says they United have drawn 2 years in a row at Anfield. Well, there you go. But they also lost 7-0 there. I love you guys so much. Honestly, the chat is just hilarious. I love it. We are just such a yo-yo sort of emotions. It's fabulous. Umair says, never wanted Manchester United to get more than 0 points in a match as much as I want it tomorrow. Yeah, look, we used to hate that lot growing up. I certainly hated them growing up. They are absolutely abysmal. They're dreadful. But you've got to revise your emotions ahead of tomorrow. It's a massive, massive game. And hopefully they can do something. O'Malley, man, you know it. You know it. Honestly, we are such a mess of a fan base. I love it. Look, we're going to leave it there. It's been really good fun. So in summary, I guess, look, we've come away with the 3 points from Craven Cottage. They are a decent team at home. Obviously, a London derby, which has an extra sort of spice to it. It's a game straight after the international break as well. You never really know what condition players are going to come in. Got to say, I thought one or two of our players were quite sloppy in that first half. Zubimendi, as much as I love him, wayward passes, a little bit light, a little bit loose with his passing. A number of players just weren't quite up to it in that first 45. So these are difficult games. And it's a Saturday night. It's under the lights. It's TV coverage. Pressure would have been on us. City are just sort of breathing down our necks. But what a wonderful feeling it will be. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning. You're going to have that flashback, as you open your eyes with your head on the pillow and think, yeah, Trossard. Yeah, 3 points. Yeah, top of the league. And we're just going to enjoy the Sunday, Super Sunday that awaits. So we take each game as it comes. Atletico Madrid next on Tuesday in the Champions League at the Carpet. So tomorrow we'll be back with a late night lounge. I'll cobble together a couple of guests. We'll reflect on the Super Sunday. Monday night, we'll have a match preview of the Atletico Madrid. And then Tuesday night, we'll do the match reaction just like we've done today. Thank you so much for all of your chats. Thank you so much for channel members and Patreon members. And thank you so much also for the donations to the channel tonight. It goes a very, very long way. If you're watching still, as hundreds of you are, please do drop a like on the video on the way out. It's a massive help to the channel. We are on our way to 30,000 subs. Look after yourselves. Enjoy match of the day. Take care. And bye for now.